mode ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechezarta binishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha mode ana lefanayich melech chai v'kayam shechezarta binishmati b'chemla rabba emunateh rabba emunatecha. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Oh, it is very beautiful.
Good morning, good morning. Why don't we boot up while I get my mic set?
Please, you had everything set up except your mic, right? So now we'll give you a chance. Matovu 172. Oh halecha Yaakov. Oh halecha Yaakov. Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Matovu. Oh halecha Yaakov. Oh halecha Yaakov. Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani berov chastecha havo beitecha eshtachave el helcho kodshecha b'yiratecha matovu oh halecha Yaakov oh halecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael matovu oh halecha Yaakov oh halecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael.
Beautiful, how wonderful defense, how good it is to be together. Why don't we offer blessings for Sherry Atzar to someone? Oh, we don't normally do that. I almost went back to my whole congregation where we go around and read. Let's all read together on page 173.
We can change things, however.
Do whatever you lead.
I forgot to turn this on after all that. So let's try reading together on page 173. Blessed are you. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom, you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofeh chol basar umafli la'asot. Having said a blessing for our body, now we say one for our soul on page 174.
Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi tehorahi. From the top. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi tehorahi. Ata berata, ata yetzarta, ata nefakta bi, ve'ata meshamra, meshamra b'kirbi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi.
Simba Yom are miracles for daily life. Next, people argue that miracles don't exist, but I would argue these are all truly miracles. So we feel them and we concentrate on the meaning as we go through and read it together. The little italicized words on the side tell you what it is that you're praying for, so make sure to focus on what it is as we are chanting together.
You want to do it the way where we do part Hebrew, part English?
Oh, I love that.
Why not? All right, okay. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim. Oh, wait, we do it with that one, right? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. Amen.
And next we read together the blessing for the study of Torah. I know you normally do it right before the Torah study, but it's here in our prayer book because so many of our prayers are also teaching us wisdom and studying Torah. So let's read it together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asot b'divrei Torah. Continue on page 180.
Which is like the Torah teaching, right?
Yeah.
So we needed to say that blessing.
Exactly. Before doing Elul Devarim. That's right. So Elul Devarim she'in lachem shi'or. Let's read together in English. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, feeling gracious with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people, so that the study of Torah encompasses them all. Page 183.
Baruch Sharma v'haya ha'olam. Baruch Oseh v'Reishit. Baruch Gozer Makayim. Baruch Merachem al Habriot. Baruch Chai La'ad v'Kayim La'netzach. Blessed is the one who spoke and the world came to be. Blessed is the one who continually authors creation. Blessed is the one who decrees and fulfills. Blessed is the one who is compassionate towards all creatures. Blessed is the one who exists for all time, ever enduring. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mehulal batishpachot.
185.
We can chant Ashrei or do Smilo.
Whichever you'd like.
Chant or Smilo?
You want to
You
chant?
got it. Yes, we do.
Let's do it.
Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, odi hallelujah selah. Tehillah leDavid, aromimcha Elohai hamelech, va'arvacha shimcha leolam va'ed. Gadol Adonai halal ma'od, v'lig dulato ein cheker. Hadar kivod hodecha, v'divrei niflotecha asicha. Zecher avtuvcha yabiu, v'tzitcha techa yiranenu. Tov Adonai lakol, v'rachamav al kol ma'asav. Kevod malchutcha yomeru, ugvurotecha yedaberu. Malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor vador. Einei chol elecha yisaberu, ve'ata noten lahem et achlam ba'ito. Tzadik Adonai bechol derachav, v'chasid bechol ma'asav. Retzon yireav ya'aseh, ve'ed shavatam yishma v'yoshiem. I'm sorry, I lost my place. Tehillah Adonai yidaber pihi, v'yivarei kol basar shem kadsho le'olam va'ed, v'anachnu nevaharich ya, me'ata v'yad olam. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, batzil tzalei shama. Hallelujah, hallelujah, batzil tzalei teruah. Kol hanshama tehallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol hanshama tehallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Oh, I heard someone.
Can we continue? Page 189?
You want to go Nishmat?
Can we?
Go for it.
Nishmat kol chai tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu ve'ruach kol basar tifaer utromem zichrecha hamalkeinu tamid.
We're not in a hurry today. 192.
Shochenad maharom v'kadosh shemo v'chatuv ranenu tzadikim badonai laisharim nevatehila b'fi yesharim titalal uv'divrei tzadikim titbarach uvelshon chasidim titromam uvekerev kedoshim titkadash ובמחלות רבבות, עמך בית ישראל, ברינה יתפאר, שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ. ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אל חיי העולמים. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשו בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו amen.
Page 195, we invite all who are able to please rise for our call to worship.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch hu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed. Ta Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzei or uvrei choshech oseh elom uvrei et hakol. Ahava haraba ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu chem lagidola v'tera chamalta aleinu b'havor avoteinu ve'imotenu shebatchu v'cha v'tamadem chukei chayim v'ha'erinenu v'toratecha v'dahabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha v'yached levahavenu le'ahava uyera et shemecha v'lo nivosh v'lo nikalem v'lo nikashel le'olam va'ed v'lo nivosh v'lo nikalem v'lo nikashel le'olam va'ed ki v'shem kodshecha hagadol v'hanora b'hatachnu nagila v'nismecha nagila v'nismecha v'yeshuatecha Baruch atah Adonai habocher be'amo Yisrael b'ahava Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Mokshem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam Beshivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor Daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amata alehem ve'asu lahem tzitzit al kanfei vigdehem ledorotam ve'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf patil tachelet V'haya lachem letzitzit uritem oto uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai va'asitem otam ve'lo taturu acharei levavchem ve'acharei nechem asher atem zonim achareihem Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai
Read together on page 203. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace, page 204.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot osei fele, norat tehilot osei fele. Shihirach orisha shibchu geulim, lishimcha nosfat hayom, yachad kulam hodu, v'him lechu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Tzor Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, uftechinu mecha, Yehuda v'Yisrael, go aleinu, Adonai tzivaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Neihem Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Michayeh HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha bal gevurot umido melach melech meimin umechayeh umatbiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam Kashem shimakdishim oto bishmei marom kakatuv al yad neviecha v'kara zel zeh ve'amar Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzevaot Melo chol haaretz Kevodo Adir, Adirenu Adonai Adonenu Ma'adir Shimcha B'chol haaretz Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo Echadu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu Vehu Yashmienu Berachamav Leinei Kol Chai Ani Adonai Elohechem Yimloch Adonai Leolam Elohai Yitzion Ledor Vador Hallelujah Ledor Vador Ledor Vador Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha Ledor Vador Ledor Vador Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha Ola netzach netzachim, kedushatcha nakdish, kedushatcha nakdish. Veshivchacha Eloheinu, mihipinu lo yamush, leolam, leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please continue praying on your own through page 219.
customary during the month of Elul to recite Psalm 27, which we're going to do. But I know it's in the book, so I wanted to offer you an opportunity to read and follow along. It's in the back and the extra prayers. It's close. 358. There you go. 358. Achat shalti meid Adonai ota vakesh. Achat shalti meid Adonai ota vakesh. Shivti beved Adonai kol yamei chaya lachazot benoam Adonai ulevakesh bechei chalot lachazot benoam Adonai ulevakesh bechei chalot achat shalti meid Adonai ota vakesh. Achat shalti meid Adonai ota vakesh.
You want to go back to Sing Shalom? Yeah. We don't have the music. We'll do it. You know what? We'll start doing it next time. I miss the parts that we do silently. I miss doing them out loud. They're some of the prettiest prayers that we have. So maybe when we have more time and I've been here long enough, I can start changing things up a little more. We can do it out loud again. But having done a hot shalti, that reminds me that Sukkot is tonight. So I hope that you will join us tonight for our Sukkot service right here at 7:30, I believe. 7:30. And now we turn to page 244 for Seder Kriyat Torah. Page 244.
Ein kamocha ve'elohim Adonai ve'ein kema'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechol dor vador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch leolam vahed Adonai oz le'amo yitain Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom Avhad rachamim heitiva vertzoncha et Zion Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim Ki vecha levad batachnu Melech el ram v'nisa Adon olamim Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Udevar Adonai Merushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael Bikdushato Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlu Adonai iti, Uneramema Shemo Yachtav. Torah, 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 just undress. Torah, Tziva, Lanu, Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva, Lanu, Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva, Lanu, Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva, Lanu, Moshe. Well, that was fun.
I hesitated to hakafah, but I don't want to break any of the COVID rules and get yelled at. We should be able to hakafah soon enough, I think. We are going to start with our text study. We are in Kitavo. The portion begins. I am on page 1350. You're very welcome. 1350. That's what we're going to be chanting from in a little bit. But the truth is this portion has a lot of interesting things in it. For those who heard last night, I talked about there's 3 different references to the importance of being happy. It's this really interesting portion. We're going to focus today, though, on we're going to focus today on the stuff that's the hardest part of the portion, the stuff that we normally skip over, and that begins in Deuteronomy 28. But before we get there, I have handouts to supplement. Thank you. Oh, and we are studying now, no singing, so I'll put my mic on. Sorry, I'm scared of having my mic on when we're singing because no one wants to hear me sing, so. So true. So now that we're studying, we can look at this. So this Torah portion, Kitavo, I summed it up by saying it's an emotional roller coaster. In it, we are told that our lot in life is directly linked, thank you, to our own behavior. Follow the commandments and we gain blessings, ignore them at our own peril. Now, this is just a little commentary that I found, a modern commentary that I loved, that I wanted to add. It says, tiptoe through Kitavo, don't read it loudly, lest the curses that we read will all come true and bring doom. Ooh. So this is actually something that our rabbis worry about, is how we read this portion and if reading it will bring upon some of these curses. So we are told, do you want to read for us? We do not make a break.
No break, no break.
We do not make a break while reading the curses in Parshas Bechukotai and in Parshas Kitavo.
I kept it in the original, sorry.
Okay. We must start the reading one verse before the curses begin. We also need at least one verse after the curses. In the Parsha Kitavo, we read the verse so that you may fear the honored name in a normal voice, then quietly through, and no one will buy you.
So I am not kidding when I say there are rules about how we read this text, and I wanted to study, so I talked to Rabbi Keller about it, because I want to study the curses, but we're not supposed to read only parts of them. You're supposed to read all of them. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to turn to page 1355. 1355, where the curses begin in 28:1, Deuteronomy 28:1. And we are going to take a few moments to read on our own, because we're not supposed to read them out loud without stopping. We're going to read on our own. 28:1, all of Deuteronomy 28, it goes 1355 to 1361. 1361. If you want to read it softly with a Hevruta, you can do that, but really we're supposed to do it quietly. And so on our own, we're going to read 28. You do not have to read every curse. You just want to get a feel for the portion, but start at the beginning and end with verse 69 at the end so that we don't break the curses in between. Okay, you ready? Okay, take a moment. Just saying it again with my mic on because I was told otherwise it wasn't heard. We are working, for those who are watching online, we are working, the computer was frozen, we're working on restarting it and getting our Zoom up and running. We'll have you join us in a moment. Right now we are reading Deuteronomy 28, mainly quietly reading verses 15 through 69, the curses, and then we'll join back together to discuss it in a moment. we are having problems with the Zoom. It seems like we cannot get back into our Zoom. I'm sorry. So for people who are watching on the live stream, I'm sorry you won't be able to Zoom with us this morning. If you have, we're now going to do text study, but just for ahead of time, if you have a name for me, Shabbat, that you want to say, you can text it to me. We'll do that, okay? So you can text it to me. Get ready. I'm going to give you my cell phone number. Get a pen and paper. It's 832-776-7382. Again, that was 832-776-7382. I'm sorry we can't have you join with us. I know it's not as good to watch in the live stream as it is to participate on Zoom, but at least you'll be able to share names for Misha Barach this way. And I'm starting to get the text messages coming in. Good. Okay. Okay. So, what did you think of Deuteronomy 28, of this Kitavos? Horrible. It's horrible. What else? What else? Why is it so horrible? Yes, say more. What does that mean? Yeah, that's pretty gross. Yeah. No. Yeah. So it can be overwhelming. And one of the things I thought about doing is comparing this to the Genesis text with Abraham, where we're promised the blessings with Abraham. But instead of reading it for purposes of time, I'm going to say the difference between the blessings we get with Abraham and the blessings we get in Kitavo, beside from all the curses, is that with Abraham, the promise is unconditional. In Kitavo, it's conditional. What do you think about that? What's the difference of that, and why do you think that has changed throughout the Torah? I love that. Yeah, I think about it as, like bad parenting techniques, in my opinion, that I think, because we talk a lot about one of the metaphors for God, obviously, or especially around now, around the high holidays, is God as a parent. And we think of, as a parent, how you try to instill values into your children. And you can try by being an example and offering rewards, or you can threaten and you can offer punishment. I am no parenting expert, but I do not do the threatening thing. And it is hard for me that God does. It's hard for me that God lays it on here. This is the worst case scenario to scare you into participating. Because for me, that seems like not the right thing for a loving parent, for a loving relationship, for a two-way relationship. Yes. Read it quickly and quietly. It was scary. It was a little scary. Yeah.
One of the things that bothers me about this is that when you ask why terrible things happen to people in the world, and we all know that, we should say why, we should say
When, not why.
Why. Mm-hmm. But, it's sort of, this kind of thing is as if you're saying, this is why this happened, because you have not followed, and to me, it's just totally opposite anything that I believe in.
Absolutely.
And any way that I act.
Did you look ahead on my handout? No? Well, that was a really good, I was going to spend more time talking about the curses, but why don't we move ahead and start talking about the theology? Because that That is exactly one of the things that we take with it. And I have a few more quotes in here for you and comments about the importance of reading it and whether or not we read it out loud or not. But on the bottom of the second page, it starts from when bad things happen to good people. Do you want to read that out loud for us?
From When Bad Things Happen to Good People by Rabbi Harold Kushner. I believe in God, but I do not believe the same things about him that I did years ago when I was growing up or when I was a theological student. I recognize his limitations. He is limited in what he can do by laws of nature and by the evolution of human nature and human moral freedom. I no longer hold God responsible for illnesses, accidents, and natural disasters because I realize that I gain little and I lose so much when I blame God for those things. I can worship a God who hates suffering but cannot eliminate it more easily than I can worship a God who chooses to make children suffer and die for whatever exalted reason. God does not cause our misfortunes. Some are caused by bad luck, some are caused by bad people, and some are simply an inevitable consequence of our being human and being mortal, living in a world of inflexible natural laws. The painful things that happen to us are not punishments for our misbehavior, nor are they in any way part of some grand design on God's part, because the tragedy is not God's will. We need not feel hurt or betrayed by God when tragedy strikes. We can turn to God for help in overcoming it, precisely because we can tell ourselves that God is as outraged by it as we are. Does that mean that my suffering has no meaning? That is the most significant challenge that can be offered to the point of view I have been advocating in this book. We could bear nearly any pain or disappointment if we thought there was a reason behind it, a purpose to it. But even a lesser burden becomes too much for us if we feel it makes no sense. Let me suggest that the bad things that happen to us in our lives do not have a meaning when they happen to us. They do not happen for any good reason which would cause us to accept them willingly. But we can give them a meaning. We can redeem these tragedies from senselessness by imposing meaning on them. The question we should be asking is not, why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this? That is really an unanswerable, pointless question. A better question would be, now that this has happened to me, what am I going to do about it?
So I have the earlier rabbinic text in there if you want to take it home and study more, but this Torah portion offers a theological challenge. And for those who don't know the book, it's a great book and I just gave you the highlights, so now you've read it. But it's worth reading also. But this book kind of challenges and says that this Torah portion is not accurate in what we believe today as our relationship with God. I'm curious, does anyone feel comforted by the if we do right, we'll be blessed, and if we do wrong, we'll be cursed? No? Yes?
Those of you watching on live stream, we did get the Zoom operational, so if you want to log into the Zoom room, please do.
Thank you. Yes, Zoom is up and running. Perfect. Yes. And absolutely. And the truth is our understanding of God in the Torah is only a very limited part of our understanding of God in Judaism. Do we all know that? That we have lots of different understandings and expressions and ideas about God in Judaism. And the God that exists in the Torah is just one of many possible ideas and ways of relating to the eternal, to divine, to divinity, to God. I think it can. I think that the same way threats turn people away from people, it can turn people away from God. I think the way that Rabbi Kushner said, I can believe in a God who sees suffering and can't do anything about it. I cannot believe in a God that causes suffering of innocent people. That is a step too far. So what do we do about that? The Torah and some traditional commentators try to say that if we do this, then this happens. If we do this, then this happens. And this is supposed to comfort us. It's supposed to say if we follow the commandments and we do so with happiness and joy and we serve God with all our heart, then everything will be fine. But that's a lot of responsibility. And like I talked about last night, for those who weren't there, the part about not just doing it, but doing it with joy and happiness, that's sometimes difficult to always figure out and muster and do it. So Judaism, throughout the ages and throughout rabbinic storytelling and conversation and imagining, has come to say, this is only one option. This is one option. Bob.
I can't believe it is literal, but on a societal level, if our society behaves in the way the Torah describes, we're going to have a better society. I mean, we're not going to be eating our children if we don't obey, but we are going to have a lawless, less civil society. So I think we can just take it metaphorically. There is some value.
Absolutely. So metaphorically, there's value, if I understand what you're saying, in the communal realm, and in the societal. Yes. So that's, to some extent, that's why we have laws, right? That's why it's important that we don't run stop signs. We have a little faith that everyone else is going to be following the laws also. We live in a society where we trust that people are going to buy into the system. And this is the Torah trying to set up a society of ethics and kindness and good behavior. The question is, does the punishment fit the crime? Yes. Perhaps it's an exaggeration. I think the eating I think there might be some exaggerations, but we're told that nothing in the Torah is haphazard, that nothing is accidental, that nothing is an exaggeration. So we're supposed to learn something from it. So the question is, what do we learn from this? Harry, were you raising your hand? Oh, you were just scratching your head? Okay, Ron, sorry.
We read in the Torah several times that man has been made in God's image.
Yes.
Being made in his image, I understand that we are godlike. If we believe in being godlike, we believe also in being godly, and we believe in godliness. Everything we learn in the Torah is the way we are taught to believe and do the right thing and live in a civil society that obeys laws and has a guideline for how we do so. Okay, and I don't see God as a figure somewhere. I believe more in the scientific approach, and it just I believe in godliness.
Godliness.
Basically,
I love that. Yes. Okay, now you have something to say.
Well, let's put it in perspective. Deuteronomy was found over 600 years later. So we had 600 years to disappoint God. And we constantly are put to the test and we fail God in many ways. I personally believe that if you do good things will happen. I believe what you put out, you get back. And even if the other guy doesn't do it so good, if you do it right, it will work out better. I practice that in my life, my children, with my business, with life in general. So these curses that are said, we have to put in perspective as well, that what was around us were still idol worshipers. They were killing their children. They were doing sacrifice. They were doing terrible stated here, is the dramatizing of how important it is for you. If you want to be saved, do it right the first time, and you will get blessed for eternity. Just like having acts of loving kindness, you'll be blessed for eternity. I believe that deeply to my core. I live my life that way. I try not to let people's negativity affect me. And I try to be positive even when I'm in business and people do terrible things. I try to rise above it and do the right thing, and it works.
So I'd say Judaism says yes and. Yes and. That's yes, we want to live that way. We want to believe that. We want to do our best and be our best no matter what anyone else does. And there are things that are beyond our control. And now today it's completely impossible because we, thank God, don't have a temple and don't do sacrifices. And but this is more also about the laws that govern society and the relationship with God. The idea of as we enter the land. So part of this Torah portion, we started by entering the land, offering our first fruits, building a monument to God to say that we're here. So this is talking about how we're building a society in the new land and in our place. And so a lot of people can take this and look at, so what are the rules for building our own country, for building our own place? Again, do threats help us be our best selves? I don't think so. But the idea that it's about creating societal ethics and relationships, that's something I can buy into. Yeah.
I like the idea of looking at it as a societal thing instead of individuals, because there are individuals who have had terrible things happen to them,
Exactly.
and their question isn't when, it's why.
It's true. Just this week, the other day, Rabbi Keller and I were sitting and we were talking about what we call your hardest rabbinic moments. He said, what was my bottom? And I was sharing a story from my first pulpit. And terrible things happen. And there's no reason for it. And to try and ascribe meaning can sometimes belittle the loss. So like Rabbi Kushner, I believe the answer is not why. The answer is what's next? What do I do with this?
Going back to what Bob said, what I said, when something bad happens, you're getting the ultimate test, the ultimate opportunity to do right and to do more, to overcome what's bad. That's what makes the good guys from the bad guys. What separates us from the ones who don't. Is that if something bad happens, it's an opportunity for you to do better and do the best and to step above it.
Absolutely.
And that's what Torah gives us, is that guideline, that map. That's why I come every week. Because it helps me to see from the garbage to what I got to rise above to be the best I can be the best for my family, be the best I can in life.
That's beautiful.
I find what's written here is just to reinforce to us why we need to follow the laws. Whether it's a societal, if it's individual, whatever. If we obey those laws, we deal with the laws, we will be blessed.
Okay. Did you want to say
Well,
something?
I agree totally with what you said, Harry, but the part about, when something that happens to you, that's motivation for you to then go out and do something kind or do something better to change that. But when something bad that happens is health, I'm not quite sure how you can say, that you can rise above that. I mean,
I
You know what I'm saying?
hear what you're saying, I understand it. I say it to the positive, but I don't think as a parent, and as a human being, anybody can live with or deal with loss of a child.
Exactly.
That's about the worst thing that can
Yes.
That's the best that he can do.
Carrot and stick, that's right. Okay. And I want to say, I think, Harry, you touched on the death of a child. I think that becomes the ultimate question for the rabbis, too, pre-Holocaust. You know, after the Holocaust, it's how did this happen? But before that, the question about God and why do, or when bad things happen to good people, how do we deal with them, is the biggest question is what if there's, you know, a loss of a 3-year-old and a 3-year-old gets sick with cancer. So are you saying that that child or those parents weren't living well enough and then they deserve that curse? Of course not. Our rabbis try to rationalize it. One of my favorite stories, I don't know if you guys know, do you know the rabbinic answer to that? The traditional answer? The traditional answer is that this was a person who had a really beautiful, blessed life in another lifetime. And for about 3 years, when he was a teenager, he didn't do so well. And so he didn't get into the highest level of heaven. So we're going to send him back just for 3 years while he's an innocent child and give him. That, to me, is rabbinic nonsense. And I'm sorry. I appreciate that for people who believe this with all their heart, for people who believe that if you do good, you'll get good, and if you do bad, you'll get bad, and if you receive bad, it's because you did something wrong. I understand how you have to rationalize when bad things happen. For me, I don't believe in a God that rewards and punishes based on with hurt and blame and children's health and things of that nature. I believe you're right, that the better we do, the better our life. That the more we can commit to living a good life and being a good person, the better it'll be for us in how we respond to what happens to us. And if we have faith and something tragic happens, it can help us rebuild. It can help us continue going. But I don't believe that bad things happen as a result of bad choices or bad behavior.
Last November, I have a 49-year-old daughter. On her birthday, she got word that she had metastatic melanoma.
Hmm.
And at that time, which I just found out recently, they gave her a year to live. Now, she's been under treatment, and there's no way in my faith that I could ever imagine that my God would do this to her because she would be punished for something. And I also believe with all my heart that he would never take my child from me.
That's right.
So I just turned her over to him, and twice a day I do my Yerushalayim with her. And I want to tell you something. Right now, she's okay.
Wonderful.
She's doing okay. She's going to be on treatment for the rest of her life.
Hmm.
But my prayer of the day is please continue to heal her,
Hmm.
take care of her, and give me the strength and courage to deal with this whole thing.
Absolutely.
So, but I can't believe that she's being punished.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. And we hope that she is strong and continues to be strengthened. Going in the right direction.
Niece and nephew, Greg, adopted a little girl, and at 4 months, she developed a brain tumor, and she died. And everyone was, of course, devastated. But the mother who was told she would never went on to form a foundation to help people in that situation.
Hmm.
Help with research really for children. I just want to give the children.
Right.
She went nationwide. I mean, she was on television.
Mhm.
She raised a lot of money. And we heard recently having a baby,
Hmm.
which my nephew said to me, how did this happen? I said, you're too young, you're too old for me to explain. she did good afterwards. You know, she took advantage of something horrible that had happened to her.
Let's go back to the picture.
Mhm.
I have a lot of trouble dealing with a lot of sadness and stories. I'm sorry, Marcia, you went through it. I go inside and start crying. But that's, I don't want to spend a lot of, I would like to spend more time on what this section is telling us. What is it really getting to? And I brought one thing up, is that we're put to the test by God and constantly disappointed. What's happening in society there? Somebody else said something, they talk about the big picture of how this affects our life, how we're supposed to react to it, what it,
So I think that's what we're talking about, but the
That's what I just said, but when she, you know, instead of just grieving, she went on to force something that could help other people.
that's right. And so let's go back to so what is the theology here? If you want to go away from the emotional side and into the intellectual side a little bit, what is the theology that's being presented here? And how do you understand God in comparison to this text? Ron?
We're doing something good after having experienced somebody else's problem or not of yourself, your own. By doing something good, I think that gives us a feeling of having done something positive.
Yeah.
And if everybody were able to get to that mindset quicker, sooner than later,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we have a different world. I think.
Absolutely.
but so Moses was doing, was talking, like the Father bringing him. Do you think maybe Moses was trying to justify his own position, his own history, and maybe make up for things he didn't do so right? And he's now telling people all the terrible things that could happen, and he's not going into the promised land. Is there something that we should pay attention to that in our life that we could do or we shouldn't do? As you know, I'm 73 years old, I'm doing succession plan in my business. Should I spend 37 days talking to him about all the things that I did right and wrong and all the things that are coming? What's the message here? Put ourselves in Moses' shoes that we should carry out in our life.
So there's a few different ways of looking at it, a few different options. But I would also argue that in the Reform Jewish perspective, and this is where I think I differ from a little bit from Rabbi Keller, I'm very more traditional Reform in my theology. This didn't happen the way that it's told. It's still sacred and valuable and important and teaching us lessons, but I don't believe that Moses got up and spoke all these words, and that I don't believe that Moses on Sinai wrote these words down and then went back and lived it. I think that this was human beings trying to make sense of the world they live in, trying to build a society as best they could, and using the language of divine, of divinity to give power to their words. If Moses existed and Moses was real and Moses was standing here in this moment, are we supposed to emulate him? No. I know Rabbi Keller really loves Moses. Moses does not always do the right thing. Moses has some good stuff and some not so good stuff, like every human being. Could Moses be trying to understand his own lot in life and how he's ending up and saying, so maybe because I didn't serve God with all my heart, I messed up, and so now I can't go into the promised land, so you really have to understand how bad it'll get if you don't serve God? That is absolutely a takeaway message, absolutely a way to look at it. But is that something that I believe? No. And I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I won't be struck by lightning today, having said that. But you never know. Poo. But honestly, if there was a car accident, I wouldn't believe it was because I said that. Mhm. Marcia.
I have a sister that is the most spiritual person I know. She doesn't go to temple, she doesn't follow the laws, but she really, really believes in God.
Mhm.
And, she come down with pancreatic cancer. And,
So sorry.
thank you, but it's going good.
Mhm.
They're being very positive about it. She doesn't blame God. She doesn't say, why did this happen to me? She just goes along with it, and when it's terrible, it's terrible, and her faith in God is not, it hasn't changed at all.
Right.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, I want to take this opportunity to just say we all have things. Even those of us who have really great lives, there's still things that are challenging and hard. So we are here for you at CBI. Your clergy's here for you. We're here to talk to you. We're here to listen. We're here to pray with you and to help you process when bad things happen. But nobody here believes that if bad things happen, it was because you did something wrong. And I want to make sure that having read this text, I'm preaching against the text right now, which we were told never to do in rabbinical school. Rabbi Levy would be very mad at me. But this is what I'm here to say. Okay?
I get a phone call every Sunday morning from a retired former rabbi who's on the committee here, and we chat for maybe 5 minutes, and it is so uplifting.
Good.
I mean, it's, nothing deep, just, hi, how you doing, what's going on? And I think that, I don't know, I've never heard of community before, but anyone who thinks that they might want, somebody to refer them to me.
Mhm.
I think it's fabulous, fabulous thing.
Wonderful. And I feel like this conversation is a good transition into Mishaberach Lecholim, but we haven't read the Torah yet. But the Torah is in front of us. So can we pause and do Mishaberach now, and then we'll go back and read the Torah? Sure. Okay. So why don't you put your finger on page 1350 if you want to follow along with the Torah reading. We'll be on 1350. Or you can just close it and listen. And we will go to our prayer book, page 253. If there's someone you're thinking of in need of healing that you'd like to offer their name. Shoshana Bat Leah Chaya.
Ukrainian family.
Irina Ginsburg, Bill Jimenez, and Masha Davis. Andrew Glad.
Leah Patrivka, Judy Levine, Pam and Sandy Tankers, Naomi Batlea, Iskakaya Batlea, Camilla Batsara Adov, Steve, Harvey Pearson, Dean Hest, and Yosef Ben Moshe Bethel,
Great Angeles, Barbara Steinman, and Roberta Chance.
Stephen Seltzer, Helene Sohn, Lynette McCory.
Are there people on Zoom with names? Nobody. They never came back. Okay. I got a text that we were listening. Let's see if I got a name. No. We'll add Roe Ben Harab Shoshana Yael.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Now, if we're ready, I think we're going to do the actual Torah reading. The blessing can be found on page 250. Again, the reading can be found on 1350. Obviously not the same book. We're going to focus on for a minute that earlier in the portion we talk about happiness and cultivating happiness in our lives. Is there someone who would like to come up and offer the Aliyah because about cultivating happiness? You want to bless for cultivating happiness, or you're good at it?
That's the happiness, it's the happiness. That's the
Beautiful.
And my name, Hebrew name, Hava Asher, I can go too.
Beautiful. Anyone else? So we have to do the blessing and what I also do a short blessing for you after. Okay, wonderful. This is happy. Okay. Ready?
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed. Amen. V'haya ki tavo el haaretz asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha nachala v'rishta ve'yashavta ba v'lachakta mereshit kol peri ha'adama asher Tavi me'artzecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha v'shamta vatena v'halachta el hamakom asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha l'shakein shemo sham uvata El HaKohen asher yihiyeh bayamim hahem ve'armata elav higati hayom la'Adonai Elohecha kivati el haaretz asher nishba Adonai Lavotenu lated lanu.
Amen. Stay right here. And one of the traditions in Judaism that kind of got lost in Reform Judaism that I really love is that people who come to bless the Torah get a special you. Thank you. How do you feel about helping lift and dress the Torah?
I would like to suggest, if I may, that Neil do it,
Okay.
because I know he needs the practice.
Okay. You up for that?
Yeah, I was gonna watch you and point this.
We are on page 256 as we lift and dress the Torah. Please rise.
Whenever ready. V'zod haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Okay, continue on page 8. So, no.
256.
Thank you. Hodo aleheret v'shamayim v'yarem keheren le'amo tihila lechol chasidav livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Ki lecha hatov natati lachem torahati al ta'azovu et chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomcheha meushar deracheha dorchei noam v'chon tivotteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh chadesh yameinu chadesh yameinu kekedem.
Amen. With the ark open and with us standing, we turn to page 259. Read together Adino Shabbat Shemayim. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love.
Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with
Good counsel, establish peace in the land.
Amen. Amen. We are on the bottom of page 282. If you don't mind staying up here, we'll close the ark in a little bit after Aleinu, 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotze breshit, shelo asanu kagoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu noten shamayim ve'yoser haaretz u'moshav yikarav b'shamayim imahal u'shchinatu zo b'gavhei meromim ki Eloheinu einod emet Malkeinu efezulato kaka hatuv betorah hato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota elivavecha ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim b'shamayim mimal v'yal haaretz mitachat einod v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As a community, we remember Joan Crown, grandmother of Adam Crown, and Adam Hefner, father of Alan and Lauren Hefner, grandfather of Eva and Aiden Hefner. And we remember those who died at this season in years past: Arthas Berman, Sylvia Berland, Sydney Berlin, Elsie Camus, Irving Cohn, Alex Coles, Arnold Delano, Carol Ann Geffen, Gerald Ginter, Murray Gordon, Kenneth Greenberg, Nathan Honig, Betty Kaplan, Richard Loeb, John Margolis, Murray Michelson, Lisa Pollock, Barbara Pressman, Pauline Schwedelson, Rose Seltzer, and Geraldine Spilkovitz. I even practiced that one, I'm sorry. If there are other people you're remembering at this time and you'd like to say their name out loud, please do so now.
Eva Kopp and Dustin Robinson.
Flow block.
The people in Ukraine, the murder.
For all the names spoken out loud and all those who guide our lives with their memory, we join together on page 294.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'al galav v'zman kori v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam olamei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabak v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmeid kudsha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen. Zikronam levracha. May the memory of our loved ones always be a blessing. You may be seated.
Are there any announcements?
Announcements. Come to Slichot tonight. It's a really beautiful service. I know it's not one of the biggest, highly attended high holiday services, but honestly, Slichot and Nigila are the most beautiful high holiday services because you get everything, a taste of everything in there. So please join us tonight if you are available. I think you will enjoy it.
We will conclude with Ein Keloheinu, and then is there something set up
And then we'll do
outside?
Kiddush and Motzi
All right,
outside.
beautiful.
I asked if it can be outside because they already have events.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kimalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Michalohenu, Michadonenu, Michamalkeinu, Michamoshienu, No Del Eloheinu, No Del Adonenu, No Del Malkeinu, No Del Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Thank you for coming. May you all be blessed and strengthened this Shabbat and in this coming new year. Shana Tova almost. Shabbat Shalom.